Politico just dropped an absolute bombshell trove of leaked Telegram messages from young Republican leaders. And as unsurprising as this may be, the contents of these damning messages essentially amount to this.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany.
Don't be stupid, be a smarty. Come and join the Nazi party.
I wish I was kidding. The title of this article is I Love Hitler, Leaked Messages Expose Young Republicans' Racist Chat. And while I'm sure we've all said off-colored things we wouldn't want exposed in private group chats, the callous level of candor that these young Republicans are spewing, this vitriolic hate, would make even Adolf Hitler say, hey guys, maybe we should tone down the rhetoric. So real quick, do me a favor, drop a like on this video and subscribe to stay on the correct side of history and to help us get this video seen by more people so we can expose these young Republicans for who they truly are, dismantle their hypocritical whining about the hateful, violent, intolerant left, and then ridicule them ruthlessly like they deserve, because as I've said from day one, this is how you deal with these people. For some quick context, I want to give you a visual of some of the people we're going to talk about in this story. And if my characterization of these loser incels offends you, just wait till you hear what they have to say. This Donald Trump-sized red-cheeked turd right here, his name is Bobby Walker. He was the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time. This tub of lard, whose skin color alone could likely get him sent to alligator Alcatraz, is Peter Junta, who at the time was the chair of the New York State Young Republicans. This fat fuck who would be kicked out of the army by Pete Hegseth is William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair who seems to think he's able to use the N-word. Those are just the worst offenders. If there's anyone else that gets mentioned in the story, I'll try to put a picture up of them. Let's dive in. I'd say good thing they're all public figures, but frankly, I don't see Republicans getting mad enough about this to get these people fired from their jobs. Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to black people as monkeys and, quote, the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide, and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the words NIGGA and NIGGUH, variations of the racial slur, more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to the R word as epic. Peter Giunta, I hope I butchered your stupid fucking name, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote a message sent in June that, quote, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. Giunta was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the GOP's 15,000-member political organization for Republicans between 18 and 40 years old. Quote, I'm gonna create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. To which two members of the chat responded. If they vote for us, why would they be gassed? When do we bring that side out? Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. I'm ready to watch people burn now. We gotta pretend that we like them. Hey, come on in, take a nice shower and relax, boom, they're dead. That exchange is part of a trove of Telegram chats obtained by Politico and spanning more than 7 months of messages among young Republican leaders in New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. The chat offers an unfiltered look at how a new generation of GOP activists talk when they think no one is listening. Which is insane considering some of them are willing to admit stuff like this in a public debate.
Because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
And thankfully, that asshat got fired from his job as a cloud engineer. And since Politico began making inquiries on this story, one member of the group chat is no longer employed at their job, and another's job offer was rescinded. Oh, and get this. Prominent New York Republicans, including Representative Elise Stefanik and State Senate Minority Leader Rob Ort, have denounced the chat. But that comes off pretty hollow when you hear about this exchange. Mixed into formal conversations about whipping votes, social media strategy, and logistics, the members of the chat slung around an array of slurs, which Politico is republishing to show how they spoke. Epithets like the F slur, the R slur, and the N word appeared more than 251 times combined. In one instance, Walker, who at the time was a staffer for Ort, the guy who just denounced the chat, talked about how a mutual friend of some in the chat, quote, dated this very obese Indian woman for a period of time. Junta responded that the woman was not Indian. And then Samuel Douglas, this fucking neckbeard who is a state senator, replied, she just didn't bathe often. In a separate conversation, Junta shared that his flight to Charleston, South Carolina landed safely. Then he offered some advice for his fellow young Republicans. Quote, if your pilot is a she and looks 10 shades darker than someone from Sicily, just end it there. Scream the no-no word. Douglas did not respond to requests for comment. And we're just scratching the surface here. The group chat members spoke freely about the pressure to cow to Trump to avoid being called a rhino, the love of Nazis within their party's right wing, and the president's alleged work to suppress documents related to wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Quote, Trump's too busy burning the Epstein files, Alex Dwyer, the chair of the Kansas Young Republicans, wrote in one instance. The dynamic of easy racism and casual cruelty played out in often dark, vivid fashion inside the chats, where campaign talk and party gossip blurred into streams of slurs and violent fantasies. And at least one person in the Telegram chat works in the Trump administration, Michael Bartels, who according to his LinkedIn account serves as senior advisor in the Office of General Counsel within the U.S. Small Business Administration. Bartels did not have much to say in the chat, but he didn't offer any pushback against the offensive rhetoric in it either. But here's the kicker, folks. Liz Huston, a White House spokesperson, rejected the idea that Trump's rhetoric had anything to do with the chat members' language.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying, because, let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the United States to incite violence against liberals?
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was funny and self-deprecating.
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica.
Writing only an activist, left-wing reporter would desperately try to tie President Trump into a story about a random group chat he has no affiliation with, while failing to mention the dangerous smears coming from Democrat politicians who have fantasized about murdering their opponent and called Republicans Nazis and fascists. No one has been subjected to more vicious rhetoric and violence than President Trump and his supporters. Meanwhile, in the chat, Junta tells his fellow Republicans that he spoke with the White House about an endorsement from Trump for his bid to become chairman of the National Federation. Though Trump and the Republican National Committee ultimately decided to stay neutral in the race. And it's kind of hard to believe that the same White House that calls out Nick Sorter at a press conference and lets Benny Johnson go on ICE raids and only invites MAGA influencers to White House press briefings, and who goes and does TikTok videos and podcasts with MAGA influencers, wouldn't at least be aware of the people running these groups, especially in New York. But these guys are horrific. Junta was the most prominent voice in the chat spreading racist messages, often encouraged or liked by other members. When Luke Mosiman, the chair of the Arizona Young Republicans, asked if the New Yorkers in the chat were watching an NBA playoff game, Junta responded, I'd go to the zoo if I wanted to watch a monkey play ball. That's the same guy who elsewhere refers to black people as the watermelon people. Oh yeah, and about the whole, why do you guys call us Nazis and fascists? Here's a fun little exchange. Yeah, I had some back and forth with the VC in Michigan. Current chair is a deer in headlights. We have a call on Wednesday. Many agree. He did say, quote, my delegates I bring will vote for the most right-wing person. Great! I love Hitler. I mean, I will link to the article below because obviously we just don't have enough time to go through all of the hateful shit here. But apparently few minority groups were spared. They came after everyone in this fucking group chat. There was a sitting senator in there. They shared white supremacist symbols. I mean, here's another chat. Joe, did you look it up yet? Just did. Probably shouldn't have on my work computer. In reply to, the Spanish came to America and had sex with every single woman, someone writes, sex is gay. Good thing you're never gonna fucking have it. God, I hope no one reproduces with these people. And then someone responds, sex, question mark? It was R word. To which this guy replies, epic. And they had a sitting Republican Vermont senator, this fucking guy, Samuel Douglas, in some of these chats just sitting there letting it happen or commenting on the racist bullshit. And they even knew what they were saying was damning. They even mused about what it would be like if the chat ever leaked. Get this, while reporting this article, Politico was examining a separate allegation that Junta and the Young Republicans mismanaged the New York organization's finances and hadn't paid at least one venue for a swanky holiday party it hosted last year. Politico's report detailed how the organization was missing required financial disclosure forms and how their subsequent efforts to file the forms revealed the organization was in more than $28,000 of debt. As of Tuesday, updated records show the organization is more than $38,000 in debt. And at the time, Junta told Politico the allegations were, quote, nothing more than a sad and pathetic attempt at a political hit job. Members of the chat occasionally appeared to be aware of its toxicity and even made remarks that considered the possibility someone outside their tight-knit group could view it. Walker seemed to consider that possibility the most. In one instance, he joked about bombing the Young Republican National Federation's convention in Nashville and then remarked, quote, just kidding for our assigned FBI tracker. In another, he considered the totality of the thousands of messages he and his peers had written and what would happen if the public saw them come to light. If we ever had a leak of this chat, we would be cooked for real, he wrote. And they are getting cooked, folks. Not in the horrific way that they fucking joke about gas chambers. But this is par for the fucking course. This is exactly what these people say in private and feel in public and do say sometimes. And then whine about being called intolerant, violent Nazis. I know this video has gone on for too long already, so I appreciate it if you stuck around. But something's gotta happen here. This just can't sit like this. These people need to be fired. They need to be ridiculed. They need to be publicly shamed. And to act like this isn't a direct result of Donald Trump's rhetoric and the Republican Party writ large, and the manosphere and the far-right pipeline algorithms, it's a conflux of so many things. And it's frankly infuriating. I mean, there was a sitting Republican senator in those chats. And these fucking neckbeard fat weirdos, who probably can't tell their belly buttons from female genitalia, are out here being bigoted, racist pieces of shit, joking about gas chambers, saying they love Hitler. If that's the stuff you joke about, you're the fucking joke. Despite how fucking much you want to come for other people's free speech, you're goddamn lucky you have the right to it. But some of those things are fucking threats, joking or not. What a bunch of fucking loser babies, hateful racist bigots who should never, ever be let near a seat of power, let alone in charge of a young Republicans conference in any fucking state. Dude, I just have too many thoughts, too many feelings about this story. I'm overwhelmed, but I'm not surprised. I'm not even fucking surprised. These are the shitbags that will replace Donald Trump when he's fucking gone. Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I had like an outro or something inspiring to say, but I don't know. All I can say is like, get this out there, spread this information, read the article. I had to cut so much out because there's so much in it. And post it everywhere. Repost this video, subscribe, like, drop a comment. If there are any further repercussions to any of these people, I will do a follow-up video. I promise you, keep an eye out for it. But holy hell, that's all I have for right now. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. Thank you all for watching, for caring. Fuck all of these people. Fuck them in the ass. Hell, statistically speaking, at least a few of them would like it anyway. God, I fucking hate these people so much. I can't with the hypocrisy. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you guys in the next one. Holy fuck.